Okay, how are you doing? It's been a while. Part 4, the last part. This is all about delivery. How do you deliver on all of the promises that you made throughout Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3? So what we talk about here is pulling the deals through your pipeline. And what happens in these situations a lot of times is that you begin to count on other people to execute for you. Or you're counting on yourself to execute. And we lose track of all of the promises that we made. So if you think about the conversation that we had around the value proposition, what is your value proposition? And much of that value proposition, if you're not selling some sort of actual widget, your actual value proposition is the service that you deliver and how you're going to engage with your customers as they move through that process that you have. So I would look at that and say, just sit down and map out all of the things that have to happen for your customers as they move through your process. So you've worked your universe list, you've built it, you continue to build it. You've added more and more people to that universe list so that you can make more deals, find more people, have more engaging conversations. So you continue to build that out. You're making those phone calls. You're going to appointments when they're necessary and for the right people at the right time, and you're being effective on those appointments with an agenda. Then you're going to get that raw material, or you're converting that raw material over now by having a good solid process to doing that, and by having a solid value proposition to what you're going to engage in. So now you've got that lead, that deal's there, you've spoken to the customer, they're interested in engaging, and they want to move forward. What's the first thing that you have to do? What's the first step in that process so that you can start to execute? When I look at it from the things that I've done in the past, for example, for us to move alone through the process, I need to start getting the information. So I need to start gathering info, gathering documentation, gathering financial statements. I need to start gathering the things that are necessary so that I can move that transaction to the next level. So that, for me, there's a status that we have, or that I would have, that's called gathering information. Pretty simple. Once I get the information, then I need to start structuring it to go get a decision made. So that context would be credit write-up. So I'm working on that credit write-up to make sure that it has all the contexts so that it can go in and get approved. Then it has to get decisioned. So it's going to be in with our credit person. Then it has to come out with a decision. Then you have to send a proposal, and you get your proposal back signed. So there's proposal sent, proposal signed. Then your customer's committed. Then you got to do documents out, documents back, final funded. So by having those variables and by having a system that allows you to track them and allows you to look at them all the time. So somewhere in your CRM system, there's going to be this already exists. Most businesses don't use it as effectively as you could use it. So understanding each step along the process that you have to engage in to be effective and to deliver on the value proposition. So you have to do that for yourself, and even more importantly, you have to do that if you have other people engaging in the process. For example, let's say one of your clients identifies a home, you make an offer, and it gets accepted. So if you think about that, I was going to move to something else, but if you just think about that perspective in itself, you have to make an offer. So you have to be thinking about, okay, I have a client. My client's in offer stage right now. What does that mean to me? And if I have 10 or 15 clients, am I engaging back with these folks to ensure that that piece of the process moves forward? So have I gotten my offer back yet? So we sent an offer. Did it come back yet? The next thing that could happen, so the offer gets accepted, and from your context, there's probably a lot of other things that you do that you could sit down and pencil out if you look at your process. So let's say they make that offer, it gets accepted. Like a common thing that happens is you're gonna have someone come out and take a look at the house. So you're gonna do I can't remember what the heck that's called. I should, but so you have the home inspection. So for you to move your process, you need the home inspection. And now you're counting on someone else to engage your client to make something happen. So what you have said is to your client in your value proposition that I am going to make sure that everything is delivered in a timely fashion for you. And that anybody that connects with you, they will be respectful, they will be ready, they will be prepared, they'll be on time, they'll do a good job, whatever those things are that you've put that context to in your value proposition. So now you're connecting somebody else. So you have to be able to know immediately that that's happening. So you could pull your backlog, in essence, which is what pillar 4 is managing your backlog. You have people that you have gotten into the system, and now they're engaging in all these different parts. And that's where the failures happen. Because in your conversations, when you're talking to universalist people, you're going to appointments, all of those types of things, you're trying to convert a raw material over. Basically, everything feels and seems great there because it's the dream. It's the pipe. It's the pipe dream of what will happen. You haven't actually done anything yet. So you've told your universalist people that in your centers of influence that, oh yeah, you're going to do all this stuff, and they go to lunch with you or dinner, and they're so excited about it, but you haven't actually done anything yet. Where we falter, and why this is this 4th key pillar, is when we actually deliver on the promises that we've made. So you have to sit down. Again, remember, I don't like to spend too much time on these things. This is simple. You can do this very quickly. There's a trick to it though. You have to sit down and map out your process. But then you have to go back to your CRM system or CMR or whatever the heck it is and look to ensure that your system manages it. You can have statuses or places around your process of where that client is at any one time. And the reason that you do that is that you want to pull that data every day. Now this may sound overdrawn, but it's not. If you have deals that you're working, people that are committed, the last thing you want to do is drop the ball on that engagement. It's so important. And most people, a lot of people, at this moment, fall down. And it's not always because you're falling down. It's sometimes because the people around you are falling down. And we're not paying attention to it. We're not watching it. And so the person that was supposed to do the home inspection was supposed to call you. Think about this. Think how simple this context is. The home inspection is extraordinarily important. You make the deal on Monday, and you tell your client, I'm going to get in connection with Bob Jones. He's a home inspector. He's going to reach out to you tomorrow. And he doesn't reach out. And then you don't call. Or you don't know that hasn't happened. That's the breakdown. But you don't know that it happened because you don't have a process to ensure you're aware of when it doesn't happen. So you have to know that that's going on. The greatest partner I've ever had in my business, her name's Candy. She is fantastic. I may have talked about this before. Early on in my career, she was connected to every transaction that I was doing. And her follow-up was impeccable. But we used to look at our deals every day. So at the end of every day, before she would leave, she would fax to me my backlog. So I'd be able to look at it. And I would look down the line to see where each deal was in the process, where each deal was connected, where deals were slowing. And because I look at the information all the time, it became very, very easy to ensure we understood what was going on. So that's the final pillar. As I said when we first started talking about all this stuff, life is not complicated when it comes to the things that we do. Life is complicated, but the things at work are not extraordinarily complicated. What is extraordinarily complicated is to do the simple things every single day that we know create results. So the 4 pillars I've laid out for you, they will do that. The question becomes, do you wake up tomorrow morning and do them or not do them? And if you choose not to do them, who do you blame that on? Do you blame it on the market's down, or my boss doesn't give me the right leads, or who do you blame it on? We all own our success and our failure. We all make decisions every day of what we want to do, how we want to do it, when we're going to do it, who we're going to do it with. We make those decisions every single day. We make those choices every single day. The choice is up to you. I know you know that. And you're a rock star, and you're killing it. And I need you to stay focused, keep killing it. Talk to you later.